A warm welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel, guys. How you doing? Don't forget to subscribe. Today we're going to be talking about air fresheners. So if you hear me doing lots of sniffing, it's going to be triggering my sensitive sinuses, which I know are cause of distress for lots of you. So what are these, guys? Well, first of all, they're a relatively new to market range of air fresheners for your car. You've got 4 different scents: light blue, citrus fresh, black night, and silver fresh, and we'll talk about the smell of them later on. So you've got a choice of 4 to pick. You pick one, and with it you get free dangly cards, which are unscented, that you can spray these to, or you can alternatively spray them into your floor mats if you run out of these or lose them or whatever, or don't want to use them, because I don't tend to use these. I'm a bit funny with that. I tend to like my car to just be like this. I don't have any bits of paper stuffed in there, any sweet wrappers or anything. I just like to keep it completely empty. Even those things I like to keep empty. So I go in on the floor mats. Now, these were sent to me with a load of Gyeon stuff a while back, free of charge, so that can create bias. But our aim is to talk about why these are good and why these are bad, and give you some sort of constructive criticism and feedback on them. So we always start with the price. So when you pick your scents, you get 1 cent and the free card, and that costs you £14.50, and you get 80 ml of scent in there. They are advertised as concentrated air fresheners, so you don't go blasting them everywhere all around your cabin. It's one spray into the footwell, and you could maybe do 1 into the passengers. Don't go beyond that, and I'll explain why later on. So they're supposed to be concentrated. But when I looked at Imran on Into Detailing's air fresheners, there's lots of Chemical Guys air fresheners that are around 14 quid for 16 ounces, which is 4.7 ml of fluid, and they can be quite punchy as well. Not this punchy, but still punchy. So pound for pound comparison is you can get a lot more liquid for your money with these. Obviously, you're not getting any cards, hanger cards. So I just had a look at the hanger trees. They're, these but scented. They're £1.75 a card. So you could say that you're getting about a £5's worth of cards, and then these are about £10 if you want to kind of break it down that way, but that's unofficial. The other air freshener which I really recommend and I really rate are these designer fragrances cars that I think they came out about 5 years ago, didn't they? I started seeing these. And you can get them all over the place. Imran sells them for £3.95 for 300 ml bottles, which are slightly smaller bottles than these. You get 300 ml in those. Again, it is a little bit hard to compare because when you use the aerosols, they tend to put out more material and stuff like that. So concentration and all that can play a factor. But by giving you that data, you just get an idea of rough pricing that you can get. So you can beat these in kind of volume price. Okay. The next thing is there's no bulk offering of these. So if you really did like them as a professional detailer, you might want to buy 500 ml of them or a litre and decant them. And I think some people would. You can still go through these quite quickly if you're using them on lots of cars each day. Although, even in theory, this should last you a couple of weeks if you're just doing the 1 squirt at the end. But maybe a larger offering would be desirable. No card options. What the hell? Oh, yeah, what I mean here as well, it would be nice if the cards were optional and you didn't have to buy them, because you are going to be paying for those. You might not want to use the cards, but you've got to buy them. So I put that as a negative. Another thing is I'd like to see instructions for maybe, if these are concentrated, that you could water them down, so you could maybe make half a litre with this and then just use it a little bit more kind of liberally, spray it all around and work it into the carpets rather than just the one mist. So I thought that could be something, that might be possible, and you may well be able to. It's just not on the instructions, so I can't deviate from the instructions when I'm formally reviewing. Now, the strength of these is the potency of the smell. That is the first thing I've noticed with these, and I've been using them for a few months. The scents that these produce are very, very strong and very, very long lasting. In fact, for me, perhaps the most long lasting scents that I've ever used. When I first got one, and I sprayed it in my garage in here, just out in the air, so I could get a smell of it. I could then notice for at least a week, every time I come into my garage, I could still smell it, even though I just squirted it in the air. So it's very strong. If you use them in your car, one squirt should easily last 2 weeks. One chap on Facebook said they don't last, and he sprayed it, and 1 or 2 days later he couldn't smell it. That's not my experience of them. Maybe you've got a very smelly car and it's overpowering them. No, or maybe you're just getting used to the smell if you're in the car for like ages. It's like when someone gets into my BMW, if I don't have air fresheners in them, they'll smell this slightly musky BMW smell. If I get into it, I don't smell it. So yeah, you do. The schnozzle gets used to your smells in the same way. People tell me I have a very strong body odor, but I can't smell it. Maybe I should stick some of this under my armpit. I am playing around, but maybe I'm not. Especially if I've been working on cars. Anyway, I want to talk about the actual smells now, what you're getting. So let's start actually with this one. This is the Citrus Fresh, and yes, Steve, Geeky Details, told me this was his favourite one. It was my favourite when I first got all 4. So the citrus one has a really zingy, sherbety citrus smell. But I've got the nose for the job on this one. I'm getting every floral bouquet going. Yeah, it is. It's quite a soapy, sherbety citrus, but very intense and very strong. And I thought this was the nicest as well. But my opinion of it changed, and I've gone through a whole bottle, 80ml bottle of this, and I prefer the non-citrusy ones. But scents just come down to complete personal preference. But yeah, that was my initial favourite. But then I moved on to these 3. And then I ruled out the Silver Fresh as not being my favourite of all the scents. Now the Silver Fresh, for me, has a slight sweetness to it. Need to move away from that citrus cloud. But it's got a slightly, I don't know, it's still got that zingy, sherbety thing going on. I'm going to go back into the house, like literally buzzing. It's got a zingy, sherbety thing, and after a while, I think it's too close to the citrus for me. Yeah, it's a little bit too close. I don't know. There is a difference, but yeah, like there's a perfumey scent to it as well. It's like a little bit of the citrus, but with a soapy perfume, sweet smell, but it's not quite fruity. Very hard to describe. Zingy, very zingy, but again, too close to a citrus thing for me. So I ruled these 2 out. So that's Silver Fresh and Citrus. That's pure citrus zing, really sherbety rich citrus. That's a slightly sweeter, perfumey citrus for me. Then we go down to these 2, Light Blue and Black Night. Now let me just simplify this. Black Night is completely different. There's no citrus zing. It's got like a talcum powdery, it's more like a talcum powdery, slight hint of sports deodorant thing, but a very fresh smell to it as well. And I'm starting to like this one the most. And when I first got them, I liked it the least. But yeah, Black Night is kind of becoming my favourite. Yeah, it's got I can really get talcum powder. That's the thing I get with this, but it's a nice smell. If you remember coming out of the bath when you were a little kid, your parents would throw the old talc bomb at you. I don't think we do that anymore anyway, do we? It's like abrasive, dust in the air, you're honking in. And then you'd go downstairs in your pyjamas to watch Sunday TV, smelling of talcum powder, but it was a really nice smell. It's got a bit of that going to it, but with a slight hint of aftershave-y sports deodorant as well. Now this one, Light Blue, I think would be lots of people's first choice. There is a slight lightness to it. There's a slight aftershave tinge to it, but there's a slight sweetness to it as well. I'm losing the ability to smell it. Yeah, it's lighter, it's sweeter. Reminds me a bit of Tuscany, the aftershave Tuscany. There's a real sweetness to this, almost like a caramel smell, with a slightly sweet musk, less talcum powdery than this, and less sporty deodorant, and a bit of a sweeter musk. Both of these two are now my favourites. Yeah, and I can't really decide. And it's good to vary them up as well, because then you notice it more. Like I say, you get used to the scent of whatever you're doing. But there's a thing with them, and we'll just show you how to use it. So you just give it a shake, and then literally one in there. So it looks a bit dirty in there. It's not too bad, but that's it. And that, you will be able to smell that 2 weeks later, I guarantee it. Well, I don't guarantee it, but you can. They're strong. They're so strong. Let's just close that. Yes. So they have good durability. The cards look cool, well designed. The product looks pretty cool. I've just put here that they're lacking an out-and-out fruit option. That came to my head, like lots of the chemical guys stuff. You know, you get strawberry air freshener and there's lots of fruit scents options out there. So they could have gone, some of these, you could argue these two are quite similar. These two are different, but they're a similar sort of thing. You could argue you could ditch one of these and replace it with out and out fruit, like a cherry blast or something that a lot of the companies do, but that's all personal preference. Another thing is Gyeon had a really awesome scent that, I don't know if it's just the product smell, I don't think it is, I think there must be a scent in here, but Gyeon Prep and Gyeon Interior Detailer have this, like, it's going to go in my eyes. Yeah, this smells so good. It smells just like fresh, it's subtle, it's more subtle than those deodorants, but I always thought that was like a signature Gyeon thing. And whenever I use that Gyeon Interior Detailer or Gyeon Prep, I loved the smell of it, and I thought, and it's got a lemony twang to it as well, but it's such a really fresh smell. It's incredible, actually, and I thought that would make a really good scent for one of those. So yeah, if it was me, I'd probably keep that. I would ditch the Silver Fresh. I'd probably keep those, and I might have one fruity one for the fruity guys and one Gyeon Interior or Gyeon Prep smelling one, because I love that, and that's the one I would go for, actually, if they could get that. But yeah, these are really good. They last really well. These designer fragrances I also highly rate, actually, because of the potency of them. Just one little squirt with them. These are good, and they've got a good range as well. So yeah, I mean, that would be what it competes against for me. These really impressed me, actually, and I started using these. I used to use the Auto Smart cans because they were potent as well, but I found these were just as potent and a little bit cheaper. So there we go, guys. That's everything I can think to tell you about the new Gyeon Scents. I think it's important, actually, for brands to have good air fresheners. I think going product hunting in the air freshener sections of, like, Into Detailing and all the online guys, not all the brands are doing it. I need to open the door. It smells like it smells like a mixture of very strong air fresheners in here. Yeah, and a lot of brands don't really have much, or they might have an odour eliminator like Gyeon have got, but I think that's a more neutral smell. It's a tool for getting rid of the bacterial smells and stuff like that. Yeah, so I think I can see why Gyeon have released this. They've done a good job with it. I think it's desirable. I think the products are going to be popular because what you're going to notice is they are potent. So there we go, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think. And yeah, I like these too. Over and out.